After being on an animal-based diet for over 6 months, last week I did a totally unexpected and unplanned experiment of eating for a whole week vegetables again. And let me tell you that, oh boy, bro, Dr. Paul Saladino and Dr. Shawn Baker were so fucking right on this. Let me tell you that in this video, I will explain why I will actually go back to eating a normal animal-based diet again. And especially, I will also clear, I think, the best way for you to find the perfect diet for you. Because, little spoiler, and I know this might sound strange, but I don't think that you need to follow an animal-based diet or a carnivore diet. I think that there is a way better way to find the perfect diet for you, and I will be sharing with you that in this video. So I actually started the animal-based diet last year in September, October, when I wasn't really feeling that well. I was always feeling bloated, and it took me long hours to be able to feel kind of empty again so that I could go for a run or a workout. I wasn't feeling very sharp and high energy. And I was always, going to the toilet very often throughout the day. And so when my friend told me about how amazingly he felt on an animal-based diet, I thought I want to try it out too. And so at that time, I checked out some videos from a guy called Paul Saladino, which I didn't really know at that time was a doctor actually. And so this diet, this animal-based diet, was really interesting for me. So I tried it out. And to be very honest, I immediately felt the benefits. I immediately felt way more energized, way more sharp and like empty, as if I was empty. Even though I was eating a lot, I felt empty the whole day long. Like, I was amazed. I felt like I was eating less, even though I was eating more. And it just felt amazingly well to go to the gym or go for a run after 1 or 2 hours after having eaten. And that was really not possible before, when I was still eating a lot of vegetables and legumes and things like that. So the benefits were really amazing for me, and I didn't really plan to do an experiment to try out vegetables again. I didn't miss them at all, at all, bro. So last week I was in Prague in vacation, and I ordered some meat, and guess what? It came with some vegetables. I didn't think about that. So what do? I asked myself, do I throw them away? Obviously not. I ate them, and because I was there, I told myself I will probably get some other vegetables in the next few days when I eat out in the restaurant. So fuck it, let's do this experiment. And for a whole week, I ate again some vegetables, still eating meat and those kind of things, but also incorporating with vegetables. And let me tell you that the results were kind of predictable for me. It was literally exactly one by one what Dr. Paul Saladino and Dr. Shawn Baker were telling me in their videos, basically. And so I've seen that when I eat just a few vegetables, just a little salad besides my meat or my fruits or things like that, I don't really feel it. Like, it's just maybe 20 calories, and it's really a low volume, so that's not a problem. But when I start eating a lot of vegetables, especially high fiber ones, especially legumes and things like that, I really start feeling it. I felt again that I was bloated, I was feeling lower energy, I was less sharp, and I was going to the toilet way more often. It was not a fun experience, to go to the toilet 4 or 5 times a day. Yeah, and farting a lot and doing those kinds of things. So what I've personally seen, and I might be wrong, but this is what I've seen on myself, is that when I get my proteins from meat, fish, eggs, basically, I feel really well, higher energy, and not bloated, like really way better than if I get them from plant-based foods. And also the bioavailability of animal-based proteins is higher, so that's another point. But also my carbs, I get them mainly from fruits and from rice and potatoes. I've seen that those things, and also honey, are kind of good. If I don't eat too much, I feel well. And so those are the things that, even being on an animal-based diet, you see, I adapted it to my needs, and I've seen that rice and potatoes and honey is still, like, I still feel well on it. But when I start eating things like, quinoa and lentils and chickpeas and peas and beans, I really start feeling it a lot. So personally, from my personal experience and from the research that I've exposed myself to, I don't really see a reason why I should be going back to eating vegetables and legumes. I mean, and especially fibers. Because many people say nowadays that fiber is so important, you know, for bowel movements. But from the videos and research and things like that that I've seen, it doesn't seem to be that way. Actually, you don't really need them because you don't even absorb fibers. You cannot digest them. They just go through your system, and your system wants to get them out as quickly as possible. And so maybe as a side effect, you get to clean a little bit your intestine, but that shouldn't be a problem anyways if you don't eat like shitty food and a lot of toxins, which is a good point because nowadays many people eat those kind of things. So that's kind of like a good point to eat fiber for many people, but personally I don't see the point to it. And also vegetables like leafy greens. I mean, I get the water from my bottle, I get the vitamins from other animal-based foods and from fruits. And what else is there in vegetables that is interesting? I mean, the water, the vitamins, and maybe the fiber, which, as said, isn't that really what I feel I need because of the research that I've seen. But I would be really interested to know what you think about it. And so if you have read some other research, or if you can prove me wrong, I would be really open to that. I would be really thankful. So you could leave me a message, a comment down below, and I will surely read it. Anyways, for how to build your perfect diet, I think that the best way is to actually experiment with it. I don't think that you need to follow the animal-based or the carnivore or the vegan or the paleo or the keto diet. Those are all religions, kind of it. Like nowadays, this diet thing is becoming kind of like a religion. Yeah, I'm a vegan, I'm a carnivore, I'm a this, I'm a that. But at the end of the day, food is just to nourish our body, to feel healthy and amazingly well. And so we just want to give our body what it needs and not what we think or what we feel like is our identity or what is right, you know? At least that is my philosophy on food. And so personally, I've seen that the best thing is to experiment with it. Because for many people, it might work to eat only meat, but for you maybe it doesn't. For your system, your body, it doesn't, because we are totally different individuals. And maybe yourself right now, for yourself right now it works, but for yourself in 10 years it won't work, because you change, bro. Your life change, everything changes. And so I think that we should be basing our diet not on what the diet says, what that religion nowadays, as I like to call them, says, but I think we should base them on what we've experimented on ourselves that works. And so if you want to build basically your perfect diet, what I highly recommend you to do is to not just follow a diet, is to experiment with it. Try out eating only meat, or try out eating combinations, try out eating rice and everything, and vegetables and legumes, and then you see how you feel. And if you really want to see how you feel well, I recommend you to not eat many things at the same time in the same meal, because otherwise you won't really know, was it that or that other thing that made me feel bloated? Or maybe what it was the combination of both. Maybe one would work alone, the other thing would work alone, but together they don't, right? And so that is, I think, the best way to find your perfect diet, to experiment with it. Because personally, I do not follow a strict animal-based diet. I don't eat dairy products. I eat potatoes and rice, on the other hand, which are not allowed in the animal-based diet, right? And I've also seen that squash and cucumbers and zucchini work well for me, but they wouldn't be allowed on an animal-based diet, right? And so you really, I think, need to experiment and stop being so influenced by what other people tell you that the best diet is. I think you will find the perfect diet for you. At least that is how I am finding my one, the one which is working well for me. And so I'm sure that you will do the same if you actually experiment with brain instead of with ego, right? So that was it for this video. Now I hope I cleared a little bit why I will be continuing on an animal-based diet and how to find your own perfect diet, but I actually listening to your body and not to other people's thoughts and words. And if you like this video, you can leave a like down below to let me know. If you want to see my future ones, if you don't want to miss on them, I highly recommend you to subscribe. And I would be actually very thankful if you leave a comment on something that you didn't really understand, or maybe something that you don't agree with, or something that you actually heard is totally different. Maybe I told some total bullshit about fibers, it's actually essential, or about vegetables, or about vitamins, and all of those kind of things. I would be really thankful if you can prove me wrong, because I always like learning. So let me know if you have something to say. Anyways, thank you again, wish you all the best, and see you very soon, hopefully. Ciao.